World of Warcraft is not a perfect game, and that's where Jagex, in their infinite genius, decided that if the player base thinks they know better, why don't they run their own official private servers so they don't have to deal with all the whining and complaining about players thinking the game would be better if you did this, or if you added this, or if you made this, or if you put this in. Which brings us to Project Zerys, RuneScape's solution to the private server problem, as well as the official server problem of not being able to make everyone happy. And that is a very key and big problem when it comes to the entire World of Warcraft as well as the old school RuneScape system. The people that have been playing the same version of the game for 10 years, 20 years, 15 years have an idea in their mind of what the game should look like, and deviating from that idea is absolute and abject heresy. And Project Zerys is official rentable private servers hosted by Jagex, where you pay money and the prices aren't confirmed or anything like that, but I will explain a bit more detail of what that means for RuneScape, old school RuneScape. You will now be able to rent a server and you can customize all the settings. You have all the building tools so you can add, change, make new content, new skins, new models, whatever you need, and make your server as amazing, as shitty, as hard, as grindy, as easy, as chill, as fun, as frustrating, as whatever you want. And for a game like old school RuneScape, especially as they've kept adding more and more patches and changes and features, some people may be missing the OG old school RuneScape before any of the extra additions voted onto the game. And guess what? With Project Zerys, you'll be able to play that. You'll be able to play a full Iron Man server where if you die, you lose everything, character deleted, all your stuff dropped, straight banishment. They might do a server where you can only equip one piece of gear. They might do a server where 10x faster XP gains, a server where it's 10 times slower. Any foreseeable change you could imagine, there will be a server type for it. So now I've explained what Project Zerys is and how smart and genius this is of Jagex, I want to get to the topic of this video: official rentable private servers by Blizzard, so that the entire classic player base can play their game how they want to play. Now, if you're any kind of classic player, you probably know what the forums look like, what Reddit looks like, what Twitter looks like, what any location you can talk about World of Warcraft. It's a cesspool of conversation, mostly leaning negative, because people in their minds believe that their version, their vision, their genius is unmatched, and they know exactly what World of Warcraft needs to be successful. Are they correct? No. Honestly, most people have no clue what they really want, they just think they do. Having these official rentable private servers would absolutely and utterly solve the problems of the classic player base. If you're a TBC Andy, you can literally play on an official TBC private server with the changes you want. You want TBC Classic Plus? You can have TBC Classic Plus. You want Wrath of the Lich King Classic Plus? You can have Wrath of the Lich King Classic Plus. You want hardcore with guild self-found only, so you can only trade within guild? You can make those settings. You want to play Classic Plus with no class changes? You can have that. You want to have official Total WoW? Guess what? That would be feasible. Ascension? Feasible. Any private server you think of could be feasible if Blizzard goes down this model and path as well. Blizzard as a company is probably watching this very closely. They're gonna see how Project Zerys turns out for RuneScape and Jagex. Does it lead to more problems? Is it beneficial? How much money does it generate? How much money does it cost? Is it a beneficial system for RuneScape? Because if it is profitable, if it's wildly successful, we very likely will in the future get the same thing for the classic ecosystem. Now, though, let's list all the pros, shall we? Infinite freedom. The community can play what they want to play. No more complaining that you don't have the right type of game, how this game is better, if they did this it would be good. You have that private server. You can straight up make your own private server if you think your version is the best. Monetization. You can't add any cash up to classic without the player base freaking out. But private servers will and absolutely shall add in-game shops. That's going to happen. In private server like Warmain, you can straight up buy Shadowmourne and Wrath of the Lich King. In TBC private servers, you can buy things. In classic private servers, you can buy things. By adding a shop into these private servers, it takes the onus off of Blizzard to make classic profitable, and it puts it on the private server owners because they have to pay for their private server rental. And assuming people rent a 10,000 player cap server, that's probably in the realm of maybe $100,000 per year in server costs and infrastructure. I'm not sure how much Blizzard would charge for private servers, but something like TWoW or Ascension, they could pay that, and they could make that money back tenfold what they're making right now as a private server if it was an official private server. The whole community would rally around playing their favorite version of the game, not have to worry about downloading a random ass client, having to go to a weird looking website, not trusting. You know, there'd be regulations and rules put in place that would essentially make your account safe and not have to worry about anything weird happening. And again, the money it would generate would be pretty high, and it would justify Blizzard working on an official Classic Plus or things of that nature, because they would be generating an insane amount of revenue from all these private servers. And then, like I said, player creativity, player freedom, it lets the community be what they want to be. But these are all the pros, and we have to talk about the cons. The fragmentation of the player base is probably the biggest con right now, and we're facing that in Classic regardless. There is Classic Era, Classic Hardcore, Season of Discovery, Cataclysm. That's just 4 game modes right now. We're likely getting TBC Era, Wrath Era, then we're probably going to get Classic Plus in the near future, MOP Classic, Season of Discovery Phase 7, 8 onwards, and they may just end up doing a constant progression server happening at the same time. So we're very likely looking at 7 to 8 Classic game modes, assuming there's no new seasons either. And imagine there was 100 private servers you could log on. You go into the private server list and you just jump into Warmain or TWoW or this or that. The Classic player base is already dangerously divided. I actually have made a video about that. You can watch that at the end of this video. What you could also do is subscribe, because guess what? If you subscribe to me, I can make more shitty content. That's the offer. That's really all it is. So anyways, then you have the problem with moderation and quality control. If Blizzard rents the servers out, they can potentially hurt their reputation with a scandal or a this or that, because they can't monitor every single private server. Now, they could make a large barrier to entry, for example, Chick-fil-A, where there's a quality level you have to meet to even open a Chick-fil-A. Now, they could do that with private servers, but that might defeat the purpose of private servers. So it's a catch-22. It could be a problem, it could be a solution. Either way, Blizzard has to monitor the quality control and make sure there's no shitty servers happening. And like I said, moderation. You can't have a server called the Ku Klux Klan where it's like whites only, or you can't have some random ass shit like that happening, because people are trolls. They'll do things that they think are funny. That's going to happen. Like, you're gonna have people make the most heinous of servers and rules. Blizzard has to moderate that, because if they don't, well, I'm just saying, they're gonna be on the news if they don't do some good quality and level of moderation to private servers. And again, there's also things like cheating, getting falsely banned, things of that nature. Like, there has to be server rules and official private server rules where Blizzard lists a set of rules that you cannot break. Again, that's just one of many cons. And then you also have pay to win. You can buy Shadowmourne on certain Lich private servers. You can straight up buy mounts with auction house and bank access on private servers. Now, these kinds of things are added into private servers because they need to make money and they don't have a sub fee. And it's mostly only whales that spend that money. But pay to win could harm private servers, but Blizzard shouldn't actually add restrictions to that. If you play on a pay to win private server, that's on you, not Blizzard. But again, when private servers become official, it becomes Blizzard's problem. The last concern is kind of an interesting one, because it's mostly about IP, like legal and intellectual IP protections, and the property risks that all of that entails of having official private servers. Because if you guys remember, in Warcraft 3, when you made a game mode, it wasn't owned by Blizzard, the original Warcraft 3. So we got Dota, which went into League of Legends, and Dota 2. And then you had things like Town of Salem and Among Us, as well as tower defense games. There's like a half dozen games, maybe even a dozen genres that spawn from Warcraft 3 private servers. And it's defined the modern internet in gaming. Blizzard got so pissed that when they made Warcraft 3 Reforged, there was a clause there that said anything you develop is the IP and property of Blizzard. So if they make official private servers a thing, and then there's a Classic Plus server that does a really solid job, makes things interesting, makes things entertaining, Blizzard could quite literally take that and they could add it to the official Classic Plus, and it belongs to them. Now, they can do that right now anyways. But if you design something, like imagine you build a whole ass custom universe because they give you the world building tools inside these private servers. So you have access to the tools needed to build a world, build a continent, build all these things. That IP becomes Blizzard's. And honestly, I don't think they would release these official private servers without that stamp there saying anything you build belongs to Blizzard, because this is modern day and age Blizzard. They're not gonna let you create the next big hit MMO off of their OG code base. They're gonna want their penny, their dollar from you. But even though I listed all the pros and the cons, I think official private servers are drastically bigger and better in terms of pros than it is in terms of cons. Because at the end of the day, giving people the way to play the game how they want to is the right thing for Blizzard to do. Let people play their version of the game that they want to play and let them enjoy themselves. Some people want Wrath of the Lich King Plus, where you don't ever go into Cataclysm. Some people want TBC Plus, where you never go to Wrath. They want to keep exploring and expanding Outland. Some people want Classic Plus where they don't even go to Outland or Northwind and they finish stuff in vanilla. Everyone has a different vision of what they want in the future, of what they want the game to be. And the net positives, the freedom, the roleplay, the creativity of having official private servers is definitely the way for Blizzard to go in the long term. Blizzard ever doing this completely depends on how profitable this is for Jagex, and if Jagex brings in the big bucks, the mega bucks, we will get this. But if this turns out to be a colossal failure on Jagex's part and they lose money, it's a net loss, it hurts the game and the player base, we will never see this. But never say never. Old school RuneScape is still an incredibly popular MMO, and Project Zerys could make RuneScape a drastically bigger game, and the same thing can be said for classic WoW in general. So thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. If you hated the video, fuck it, subscribe anyways. What do you have to lose? Dislike every video manually, be a dedicated hater. Thank you all for watching. Ebonheart out. Peace.